Hello. Welcome to Live at 5. Here we are at Broadway.com. It is Tuesday, April 9th. I'm Paul Wontorek.
And I'm Beth Stevens.
And we're joined by Caitlin Moynihan.
Hello.
And one of the Temptations. Who's here, Beth?
Jawan M. Jackson.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm just giving him
fantastic.
the M.
Yes.
Don't forget the M.
From Ain't Too Proud.
The Life and Times of the Temptations. I love a long title.
You do.
And I love, there's a colon in there, or a dash, or
There's some punctuation.
some punctuation in there, and a lot of choreography. We'll get to him. He has a special connection to Broadway.com, which
It's
we
a
love.
homecoming, let's say that.
But first, today's top 5.
This very famous and fan. What am I trying to say right now? I don't know.
I don't know. What are you saying?
This book turned movie is getting a stage adaptation.
Yes. We are talking about Wonder, which made you cry on a plane.
Yes.
Crowd on a plane.
And my kids read those books over and over again. Wonder is being made into a musical heading.
So it's a whole series of
Broadway.
books? I don't know the movie.
Yes, R.J. Palacio has a bunch of Wonder-type books. They were turned into a movie. You all know the movie with the adorable, what's his name? Jacob Tremblay. Oh, so cute. And Julia Roberts and Owen Wilson.
Yeah, I love a Julia Roberts.
You love
cry.
a Julia Roberts cry fest.
Stepmom, anyone? Stepmom? Sorry, just throwing it out there.
Tony-winning producer Jill Furman, who worked
Oh.
on Hamilton and many other shows, is developing the project with the author and the film studio Lionsgate.
What's Wonder about, Beth?
I'm going to read this to you. Are you ready? Wonder follows a young boy named Augie Pullman who was born with facial deformities as he struggles to transition into a mainstream school.
He's a really positive kid.
He's a really positive kid. It's a really great book. It's a tearjerker Julia Roberts movie. And now, so the film features a screenplay that was co-written by Tony winner Jack Thorne, who wrote Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, and Stephen Connor. And the creative
He
team...
also wrote King Kong, by the way, which I love his work on King Kong.
Correct.
Just making sure everyone remembers.
That's true. He has written the musical King Kong. We don't know the creative team. We don't know anything. We don't have casting.
Okay.
I just want to let you know it's happening. It's out
Probably
there.
not Julia Roberts.
Unless she wants to sing.
Maybe.
You never know.
I'm still campaigning for an Aaron Brockovich musical. I like to mention that as much as I can.
Thank you for that
Krispy Kreme.
addition. That has nothing to do with this project.
And congratulations are in order for this pair of Broadway-bound shows.
Congratulations are in order because up in Boston they gave some it's award season, Beth.
Oh, really?
It has started.
Oh,
It has
wow.
begun. Ernie, is that what they're called? Ernie, I-R-N-E, is that how you say it? Like Ernie and Bert?
Yes.
But it's I-R-N-E.
Sure.
The Ernie Awards, 23rd annual. So it's a big theater award up there, and they honored some shows that are Broadway bound.
Tell us more.
Specifically, Mr. Danny Burstein, who has like 18 Tony nominations to his credit. He's
not an
currently
accurate
starring
number.
in My Fair Lady. So Moulin Rouge won for new musical Large.
It's about the
That's
size
category.
of the audience.
New musical Large.
Size of the
That
house.
means it's like Broadway sized because it's coming to Broadway. And Danny Burstein won he plays Ziegler, as in Spectacular. And he's fantastic. And you know what? He's going to be a big award contender when it gets to Broadway. Also, Catherine Zuber won for her costume design. Musical directors, Kian McCarthy, Peter Hylensky for sound design, Derek McLean for set design. So it was a big
Creative
night
team,
for Moulin
the
Rouge.
design team, yeah.
Also, Lauren Patton, who is a fantastic new talent that everyone will be talking about on Broadway very soon, I believe, won for Jagged Little Pill, the Alanis Morissette musical that was announced for Broadway. They haven't announced yet that
Theater, they haven't
Lauren
announced.
will
Or
be
the
in
cast.
it, but
Chances are
wink,
good.
wink, I think she will. And again,
If you're a
another
betting person.
fantastic performance everyone will be talking about. So congratulations, guys. This is like a pre-Broadway award ceremony. I'm into it. The Ernies.
And Jimmy Fallon is turning back time for a whole entire episode.
Wow.
All right, I'm going to have to tell my daughter about this because she's obsessed with the Cher show. The Cher show, and Cher herself will be on The Tonight Show in an episode. Do they call it an episode? On a show that is 100% devoted to Cher and the Cher show.
So it's like a variety hour.
It's
on
like,
Tonight Show. I'm
yeah,
into it.
yeah, it's a throwback a little bit. So they've done this once before. They did it for Hamilton.
For the Puerto Rico.
For the Puerto Rico
run,
premiere.
Right? Yeah.
For the Puerto Rico premiere. So we've got Stephanie J. Block, Teal Wicks, and Michaela Diamond, and they will perform. I think Jimmy Fallon's probably going to work himself in there. Let's just say that.
Sure.
He always loves to sing with the stars.
Sure.
But Cher will perform Turn Back Time with Stephanie J. Block. Wow.
What?
Yes. And You Haven't Seen the Last of Me with SJB, Teal Wicks, and Michaela Diamond.
When is this happening?
April 15th.
Wait, that's really soon.
It's, you know what a relief for tax day. That's all I'm saying.
That's true.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this well-known play is finally getting its North America debut.
It's called The King's Speech, and it was a movie. You all remember
Did
the
you
movie.
see it on a
It was a
plane?
play first, right? Mm-hmm. So it was a play, and then it became a movie, and now it's a play. It's the same play?
Still a play.
It's a play. There was talk in the past that it was going to come to Broadway, right?
Previously rumored for Broadway.
There you go.
Yes.
Previously rumored. That's what it says right here. But now it's going to happen at the Chicago Shakespeare Theater, which is a great little theater on the dock, on the wharf in Chicago.
Oh, you know exactly where it is.
Yeah, have you been there?
Do you have the address?
You
No.
walk through a mall for a really long time, and then you get to the very end,
yeah,
and there's
yeah.
a beautiful theater.
Got it.
Malls and theaters.
Got it.
So, anyway, it's going to play September 12th through October 27th, and Michael Wilson will direct the production, and he's a very fancy, very talented director. And of course, The King's Speech is about King George VI's struggle with a speech impediment and the friendship that forms between the British royal and his unconventional speech therapist. It was a great movie. It's a great play. The movie came out in 2012, and maybe eventually will come to New York.
That would
I
be
don't know.
nice. I
We'll
love
see.
that movie. Yeah.
Right now it's in Chicago, and that's a good place to be.
And Summer Lovin' is going to take us way back.
This felt like
How is this a
almost
thing?
like an Onion headline because it seems so improbable. But there is a prequel for Grease.
Beth.
I know. In the works. It's called Summer Lovin'. Because you know why.
Because they had a blast.
So, they had a blast over the summer, and now we're going to see what happened. Tell me more.
In the original movie, they deal with it in like 5 seconds.
Of
At the
flashbacks.
top of the movie.
Yes, it's
They
a beach,
have them
running on the beach, right?
So it's going to be that for a whole movie.
Tell me more. Tell me
It
more.
sounds like Mamma Mia, here we go again. Right?
But-
It's like, let's just
well,
do the same plot again. With
It's
the same...
not set in Greece. It's
No,
called
I know, but is it going to be the
Grease.
same songs?
I don't know anything about it.
Will be.
I don't know. It's a prequel. Comes almost 4 decades after the film's sequel, Grease 2.
Grease 2, which I'm obsessed with, which I need to see on Broadway.
Yes. There's no word yet on a composer for Summer Loving'. There's casting that needs to come our way. We don't know a lot about it, but we can just imagine Danny and Sandy on the beach.
Are they going to sing all the Mamma Mia songs, maybe? Maybe it's just that. Maybe it's just the third Mamma Mia movie. I don't know. But I'm into it. But now we have to cast it. Oh, my God.
We got a lot. We're going to be talking about this for a long
We're
time.
going to be talking about this for like the rest of our lives.
Yes, definitely.
What else is on the site? George Salazar.
His final
Oh.
vlog episode where he takes fan questions and he answers everything, which is really fun.
We have some nice photos that we'll roll in from when
It's
he
a
was
very,
here
it's a very be
last
more
week.
chill day.
Fosse Verdon premieres tonight.
Yes, it does.
And the photos. And some
Photos from the premiere, which was last
Last
night.
night was a premiere. They had a big premiere. It was like a
Yeah,
big
all
draw.
the
It was at
stars.
The Schoenfeld Theater. They did
Yes,
a whole screening
yes.
and very
So many Broadway stars. Really great.
And some very sad news. Eric Loan Summers, a very talented vet of 6 Broadway shows, including most recently he was a standby for Lola in Kinky Boots. He lost his battle with cancer at the age of 36. So there's been a lot of grieving on social media
Grieving,
today.
tributes,
The community
yeah.
it's really sort of horrible news. So anyway, shout out to thinking of your family and friends and everyone. Very, very talented guy.
Yeah.
So on that sad note, Beth,
I'm going to get out of here.
you get out of here.
Yeah.
And Caitlin, why don't you tell us about today's guest?
Gladly. Yes, we have Jawan M. Jackson here in the studio with us today. He is currently playing Melvin Franklin in Ain't Too Proud, The Life and Times of the Temptations on Broadway. He has previously been on Broadway and Motown, the musical. And guess what? Before landing and becoming an Ain't Too Proud the musical, he was in fact part of the Broadway.com family. He worked at Broadway across America. Holla. Make sure to follow him on social media at Jawan Jackson 4 and leave all of your questions in the comments below. Please welcome Jawan and Paul.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Hey.
Oh,
Yay,
round of
Jawan!
Thank you, sir.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Great to see you.
Listen, good to be seen.
How's
as my
life?
grandma
It's
always
good to be
say.
seen. It's good to be
It's
seen,
good to be
isn't it?
seen.
How's life on the Broadway?
Ooh, Broadway life is I forgot the schedule and what's that's like. But I'm adjusting.
This is a high energy show that
absolutely.
you have found yourself in.
Absolutely.
The audiences are going crazy.
They're going insane.
Yeah, and you're at the Imperial Theater, this big, beautiful Broadway theater.
It's so big, but it's so intimate too. I feel like we've been on tour for a year,
right?
And so this house I feel like the audience is definitely like in our laps. We're like in their face, and it's very intimate, and I'm appreciative, happy.
I know you hear this a lot, but your voice, I love your voice.
Yes, I had it since I was 12 years old.
This voice got you this gig.
It sure did.
Right?
I like to thank my grandfather for that, first of all.
Yeah.
I copied him when I was younger because his voice is really, really heavy, and I was like, it's so cool. And then it changed at 12 years old, and I was like, it's so ugly. Like, I don't know, because I used to sing really, really high.
Oh.
I was like, first tenor, and I thought I was, singing my little Tevin Campbells and
all
the,
we love the Tevin Campbell.
the groups, and then it changed. I was like, what am I going to do? I don't know.
Well, apparently you're going to play Melvin Franklin, right?
Yeah, I'm going to play Melvin, and
Yes.
and just take that lane.
Yeah.
And stay in it, because no one is in there like that.
Yeah, so Melvin is the bass of the Temptations.
Uh-huh.
So it is that. And you played him in Motown.
I play him in Motown,
Right?
yes.
So he has really been sort of your Broadway
He's been part of my
guardian
life.
angel.
Yeah. He's been getting me through. He's been part of my life for the later part of like 8 years now.
Wow.
And I can't shake him. And I actually, on my book bag, Melvin's wife gave me his identification card from the Motown Museum, when they had to, show like IDs to get in. And I have it blown up on my backpack, so I carry him everywhere. I carry him in my pocket. I have a smaller version in my wallet, so he's everywhere.
That's amazing.
I do not go anywhere without him.
So when you play this role and obviously Motown was a musical that it sort of went through how many artists? I mean, so many stories.
So many stories. It's like interwebbing.
There's so many famous Motown legends in that musical. It's amazing how they were all woven together. So when Ain't Too Proud comes along, do you kind of go like, well, I know how to play this guy. I should be going in for this. Like, do you like? I mean, it's a natural. Of course, they're going to get you to play.
One would think so, but I couldn't get an audition, Paul.
What?
They would not see me. They would not see me, and I think partly because I didn't have an agent at the time, and so I was trying to like doing everything on my own. I booked Motown on my own. Like I went out and auditioned, open call, open casting, and so they didn't quite have this for this process, and so it was finally once they left Berkeley and the role opened up again, and my name had been in their ear, because some of my castmates, thank you Derek, thank you Ephraim, thank you Jeremy, had been whispering, and we're like, hey, I have a friend who would be perfect for this, and so I got the role, and then when I came in, they were like, oh, where you been? I'm like, I've been here, knocking on y'all door. I emailed Dominique, she didn't return my email. So then finally, I got my turn, and the rest is history. And then they had to work with me on the dance part, because I'm not a dancer.
No,
not at all.
Really? You tricked me.
I had a 6-week. 6-week run intensive of all the choreography, and our assistant choreographer Edgar Godino and Esther, our swing captain, dance captain, they worked with me every day 9 to 5. And
you were the problem child they had to work out.
Yeah.
And they're like,
absolutely.
you can hit those notes, but we got to get the moves.
But we need to get the moves right. And I left, Broadway Across America, and immediately started into this intensive.
So explain this. So so Broadway Across America is our sister company. And so what's your background?
My background,
you worked
in life.
Where here?
I worked at a call center for Broadway Across America.
Over
and I was
there?
across the street, 729, 7th Avenue.
We have two different
buildings. We call this the Palace, and across the street
is the Palace. We're in the Palace.
We're in the Palace right now.
It doesn't look like this.
No.
We know that building.
No, we love it. And so.
And what'd you do there?
I was a call center rep, and so I would answer phone calls. People call and say, "Hey, I want to, switch my ticket for this night," or "I want to buy a package for," we were selling like out of town run packages. So I got into the when the Hamilton craze was going on.
Oh,
Everybody,
yeah.
every state was getting Hamilton. Texas was getting
Because you
Hamilton.
were working on tickets for the all the touring
All
markets.
the touring markets, right? So I was
And they
doing
were all getting
Florida.
Hamilton. Everyone was losing their mind trying to get in.
Craziness, Hamilton made us a lot of money. Thank you, because I got a lot of incentives that year. Like that was great.
There you go.
And so yeah, I was working there, and I worked there for a little bit. I left on my year anniversary.
Okay.
Actually, last year, and
Well, and the call center is filled with like performers.
Performers,
and
yeah.
It's a great sort of steady
Yeah.
job while you're waiting for the Broadway
because
dream to happen.
it keeps you in the industry. You
Yeah.
know, I wanted a job because at the time I didn't know what I wanted to do with my career or anything, and so I wanted a job really that kept my foot in the door, so I wouldn't be too far removed from it, and I fell in love and got re-inspired, and it was John Gore who actually, when our first introduction to each other, I introduced myself, and he was like, "Why are you here?"
Oh, really? Like
Yeah.
in the office?
No, we had a mixer.
Oh.
And he came, and I met him, and I was just telling him a little bit about myself and what I did. And he was just like, well, why are you working here? Like, whatever we need to do to get you back on Broadway,
Look at
do
that.
it. Go to your auditions, and you have my full support. And so, because of that, like, they would let me go on my lunch break and audition. And I actually auditioned for Ain't Too Proud on my lunch break. And came back.
Thank you, John Gore.
Thank you, John Gore.
John Gore is the owner of
the-
our company.
He's the
and
owner,
Broadway
and
Cross
he's
America.
and he was so supportive, and him and Susie Kent, who's
Yeah.
was our boss across at Broadway Across America. Like, I booked that show, and I got the news when I got back from lunch in the office, and I got to tell the office, and of course it was supposed to be a secret, but Brett Friedman
Brett Freeman can't keep a secret.
ran out. I was like, Jawan is going to Broadway. He's Broadway bound. I'm like, Brett, you weren't supposed to say nothing. So that was the office secret that they had to hold for so long until they can announce it on, social media.
Yeah, I heard about it too.
Okay.
Word came over to the
It's
Golden
red,
Palace.
yes. You can't keep nothing in the, everybody gonna find out. So, but yeah, so that was my experience. And then, I left and have not, looked back, but I'll look back, to say thank you because I'm very appreciative of, this organization and, just all the love and support that I've gotten since I've left. So it's been great.
I love that. You can come by anytime.
Well, thank you.
Now we're just putting you on camera.
Hey, I appreciate it. I told us I had to leave and come back in order to get my gifts. I got my cup.
Now you got a mug.
I got a mug. I'm official now.
We have swag. We have some swag. And you're actually from Detroit. You're from Motown.
Born and raised.
Yeah.
Born and
So
raised.
you're authentic.
I'm authentic. My cousin dated Melvin, so he could have been my cousin, in a former life, but it didn't work out like that,
Is your family going crazy that you're a temptation on Broadway?
My grandmother goes crazy.
Yeah.
Because this is her era, so she goes
Yeah.
anybody she can tell, and she always has me send her pictures. She's that lady that carries her pictures around and shows me around. But everybody else, like my sisters and everybody, when I come home, I'm just as regular. Like, I went and I opened my Broadway show, came home, and my grandfather was like, "Hey, can you help me bring this washer from up the stairs? We need to throw it out. I don't care that you're doing the show." Like, I'm just real regular to them, which is great in a sense, but I'm like, hey, I'm somebody to somebody. They're like, come on, boy, sweep that yard,
How are the guys? How are the guys over at your team?
They are amazing.
Yeah.
The good thing is that we are all friends prior to this experience, and so I think that just made this experience made us closer, because we talk every day, we hang out, we laugh, we cry together, we've shared some life moments, with each other, and really with the whole cast in general, we're just one big family, and I've never worked with a group like this that actually love coming to work. We love each other and we support each other because it's really, in a sense, an ensemble piece. Because I can't do one thing without the other.
Right.
So it's moving parts, and we're passing the baton, as James Harkness would always say. It's a long race. So I'm happy.
I just ran into him on the street. I love all those guys. It's a
they're
good
great.
cast.
Oh, they're great, and they're all goofy. And they keep sitting in a room with us, you're liable to hear anything because we cut a rug.
Do you have other dream musical theater roles that you would love to lend this voice to?
You know, I don't know actually. You know, the sky's the limit. You know, and I'm open to all. Thank you.
Okay.
But I don't have one in particular. You know, this has been my dream since I was 12. So I'm like, I'm here, and so I'm just like ready to work and to be used.
Yeah. Use him.
Yeah,
he's here.
use me, and I can dance now. So thank you,
Not
Sergio.
just dance, but Sergio Trujillo dancing.
Listen, Sergio, I didn't know the stigma that came with him because everybody, you know, he was intimidating and people was like telling me he's scared, and I'm just like, oh, he regular to me, like okay. And then I started working with him, like, oh, I get it. He pulls the best out of you, you know, and he wants nothing but your absolute best. And that's, I feel like, what he did for me. And we've had some knockout dragouts, but at the end of the day, he was like, I want you to succeed. And, you know, I appreciate him for pushing me because I didn't know. It was times where I'm like, Sergio, I can't do a double turn. I don't know, what is that? You know, he was like, you got it, Jawan. You know, that's my Sergio voice. And I've done it, you know, and everything he's put in my path, I feel like, you know, I've accomplished and I took on. So I'm grateful to that.
So you just get into the rhythm of it? You get into the, like, it seems like a really high energy thing to do every night. You just sort of get into the, you're on the train. You just keep going?
Yeah. You know, it's one of those things is, you know, like I said, we all supportive. You can't do one thing without the other. So right before we get on the stage, we huddle up, the five of us, and we're like, hey, I got you. We look each other in our eyes and each other in the eye, and we just like, we're laughing, we're joking, we're like, whatever you need, we're here for each other. Let's dance together, you know. And so we go out there and hit the step. But you know, it's one of those things. It's also a personalized thing. So some of the numbers, when you come, you're like, oh, he's really doing that. That must be his move. Because some of these dance numbers is just in my body. I'm like, oh yeah, like, you know, that's Detroit. Reminds me of back home. And so Sergio put some steps in the show, and he calls it the 7 Mile Shuffle. I'm from 7 Mile and in Detroit, you know, where it's and so I was like, you know, where I'm from, we'd do it like this. And so then he was like, okay, we're going to call this the 7 Mile Shuffle or whatever. And so, you know, it's little things that we got in there.
Wow.
It's like I'm my little influences and pieces and stuff in there.
So now you'd be a lot of fun, like at a club. Like,
oh,
you got
yeah.
all kinds of moves to
I can
show
definitely
off.
club dance. I always could do that.
Oh, okay.
I always could club dance. I
Okay.
just couldn't do choreography.
Yeah, right.
Like freestyle, whatever you need.
Okay, all right. Good to know. Good to know. You never know. Hey, Caitlin,
Yes.
what are the people saying?
Yes. So Diane wants to know what has been the most rewarding part of your Ain't Too Proud journey so far.
The most rewarding part of my Ain't Too Proud journey, it would have to be meeting Melvin Franklin's wife. And, you know, just...
Did you meet her during Motown?
I met her during this experience.
Okay.
She came to see us in L.A.
Okay.
And I was actually nervous, you know, and I was expecting, like, when I met her, I was like, okay, I'm thinking it's just going to be like this older lady. And she's just, I was like, I walk in and I see her and we make eye contact, and she's this young looking, just the prettiest, you know, woman ever. And then she just comes and runs to me and she hugs me and she just busts out crying. Aww. And then from there, because I'm very emotional and I like to, and I take on emotions. If I see somebody crying, I bust out crying too. I was like, why are we crying? Oh my God, it's such a great, but that was the most, you know, that was the best experience. And the highest compliment I got from her was like, it feels like you knew Melvin all your life.
Wow.
You had his mannerisms, you know, your spirit, your energy. I just feel my husband, you know, when I look at you. And that was the biggest and most rewarding experience that I've had so far.
Wow. I forgot to ask you, I want to get a little taste of your Hot 107.5.
Oh, yeah. You're listening to Hot 107.5, Detroit's #1 radio station. You know,
That was the gig. That was your job, right? Yeah, I love that.
I was social media, like the social media person, you know, on this show called The Carman Show. And I was the hip young, you know, guy that would to get all the young folks come in. So that was my little side
God,
gig.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love that
I did a little bit
voice.
in college too. You know, I had it perfected too. Like it's cool.
So good. I'm into it.
I
What
love
else,
that.
Caitlin?
Yeah, so this one will be our last question. So Joanne wants to know if you listened to a lot of Motown before starring in shows that feature the music, and how has being in shows that feature music changed your experience with them, or if you have any favorite song, or...
Oh, of course. I stay with the old school everything because my soul is old. And
Is it?
Oh,
You're one of them?
absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody, the Drifters, the Four Tops, excuse me, that's my Detroit foe. Just everyone, Smokey Robinson, and I love all of them,
Yeah.
all of them, because this music is just timeless, and you can't, and it's actually calming, like, and unlike today's music, which is great in its own way, but all the influences come from old school, and so I have to go back to the roots.
Yeah, cool. Well, you guys, Ain't Too Proud, the life and times of the Temptations. It's a big hit over at the Imperial Theater. Jawan M. Jackson, part of our family. I like to think of you as part of
Yes.
family. He's fantastic in the show. Go see it. You're going to love it. I mean, it's kind of like, you can't go wrong at that show.
You can't.
It's
It's
like,
an
it's
experience.
my new, like, go-to, like, easy to recommend to anyone.
Oh,
show.
yeah.
Who's not going to have a good time at
Oh,
Ain't
yeah.
Too Proud?
Your mama, your auntie, your cousins, everybody. Gonna all have a good time. All of them.
Thank you so much for coming
Of
by.
course, Paul.
Hey, Caitlin, why don't you take us out?
Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We are live at 5 every single day on Facebook. You can listen to us wherever you get your podcasts by searching for #live@5 and hitting that subscribe button. Be sure to tune in tomorrow when we talk to Queen Orfeh about all things Pretty Woman.